Most people think discipline is built in moments of huge motivation. That's the lie. The truth is much harder and much better. Discipline is built on the days you don't feel ready. On the days when your mind is noisy, your energy is low, and nobody is watching. That's where your future is decided. And if you've ever started strong, then slowly lost momentum, this video is for you. Because the problem is not that you are lazy. The problem is that you are waiting for a feeling that will never come every day. Real progress starts when you learn one habit that makes discipline unbreakable. Not perfect, not easy, unbreakable. Here's what most people miss. They try to rely on motivation like it's fuel that never runs out. But motivation is unstable. It rises and falls. It shows up when life is exciting, then disappears when life gets hard. And that is exactly why so many goals die in silence. Not because the goal was wrong, but because the system was weak. The hidden problem is this. People treat discipline like a mood instead of a decision. They say, "I'll do it when I feel like it." But feelings are not a leadership plan. If you only act when you feel inspired, you will always be controlled by the day instead of controlling it. So what is the one habit that makes discipline unbreakable? It is this. Keep a promise to yourself every single day, no matter how small. That is the habit, not a perfect routine, not a dramatic transformation, a promise. A clear daily commitment you refuse to break. Because discipline is not built in one giant act. It is built in repeated proof. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when you don't want to, you strengthen trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of real discipline. Think about that. Every broken promise sends a message to your mind. My word does not matter. But every kept promise sends a different message. I am becoming someone I can count on. That change is powerful. Now here is the mindset shift that changes everything. Stop asking, "How do I stay motivated?" Start asking, "What promise did I make today?" That one question creates clarity. It removes drama. It gives you a target. Because when your day is built around keeping promises, you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start building momentum on purpose. Start small. That matters more than people want to admit. If your promise is too big, you will fear it. If it is too vague, you will excuse it. But if it is clear and small, you can win every day. For example, if your goal is to get fit, the promise might be to train for 20 minutes. If your goal is to write, it might be 300 words. If your goal is to get focused, it might be 1 hour with your phone away. Small promises are not small because they are weak. They are small because they are repeatable. And repeatable actions change identity. That's the next lesson most people ignore. You do not become disciplined by thinking like a disciplined person. You become disciplined by acting like one until it becomes natural. The action comes first. The identity follows. This is why consistency feels boring at first. It does not give you instant applause. It does not always feel powerful. But boring is where strength is built. The work you do when nobody is impressed is the work that eventually makes you unstoppable. Now, let's talk about the trap that destroys this habit for so many people. They break one promise, then they give themselves a story. "I was tired. I had a rough day. I'll start fresh tomorrow." And one excuse becomes two. Then two becomes a pattern. The moment you break your word and call it harmless, discipline starts to weaken. So when you miss a day, do not quit. Do not spiral. Do not turn one mistake into an identity crisis. Return fast. That is part of the habit too. Strong people are not the ones who never fall off track. They are the ones who come back quickly. Here is a simple rule that can save your momentum. Never miss twice. One bad day is a moment. Two bad days become a direction. If you can catch yourself early, you protect your future from one small lapse. And there is one more truth you need to hear. Discipline gets stronger when you make it visible. Write down your daily promise. Track it. Check it off. See your progress. Because what gets measured gets respected. And what gets respected gets repeated. But the real breakthrough is even deeper than tracking. It is this: every kept promise becomes evidence that you are not your excuses. Read that again in your mind. You are not your excuses. You are not your low-energy day. You are not the version of you that gives up when things get uncomfortable. You are the person who decides what happens next. That is where discipline becomes unbreakable. Not when life gets easy, not when motivation is high, but when your actions begin to prove that your word means something. So today, choose one promise. Make it simple, make it clear, and keep it no matter what. Because your life will not change from one perfect day. It will change from one honest day followed by another, and another. That is how confidence grows. That is how focus sharpens. That is how resilience is built. One promise at a time. You do not need a new personality. You need a stronger pattern. And once you begin protecting your word, something powerful happens. You stop feeling like discipline is a battle. It becomes who you are, so take the next step today. Not someday. Today, keep the promise. Protect the standard. Build the habit. That is how discipline becomes unbreakable.